Let's face it, guys, with everything that's going on, I don't think we can be surprised with how this season of Doom Patrol ended. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on the season finale of Doom Patrol. Or you could more or less say this is not really the season finale because of the whole pandemic and stuff. It was sort of short, and like this episode was you could say the first part to a part 2 season finale. Kind of like what's going to be happening with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming up next week, which by the way, can't wait for that. And with what's going on with Stargirl. The episode happened this week for the first part of the season finale, then we got the one for next week. But with this one, unfortunately, with the whole pandemic, it sounds like what was supposed to be what seems like episode 10 episodes for season 10 ended up being 9, and we are left with a major cliffhanger on us, kind of like it also was with Titans with season 1. But in that case, that was just something that people decided behind the scenes, and the production just decided to make a crazy decision that was a major gamble. This one was like a different circumstance situation. But speaking of Titans, I've noticed a funny thing here. How like Doom Patrol and Titans, their last few seasons, seasons 2 and season 2 of Doom Patrol ended in a carnival. And it's got me wondering, what's this whole deal with carnivals having the season finales at the end? Is there some... Do they just like it like that or something? I don't know. But now having said that though, let me just go ahead and say season 2's been a good season. Not as better as season 1, I'll admit to that. Because for one, Mr. Nobody was one of the breakout stars of season 1. And yeah, all the acting, all the characters and the dynamics of them were all spectacular. And this one, they still had it there, but in a more different aspect that wasn't really on the level as season 2. I mean, season 1. Season 2 still had its perks here, because the thing about it is with season 2 is, first off, with Niles, he was pretty much like the main antagonist of the season, because of the way he kept just like using them and betraying them and stuff like that. We all know it was for his daughter Dorothy, but still what he did was not cool at all. And you would think that this story arc, especially if there had been an episode 10, would fully make him make up for every bad decision he made here. Because everything he kept saying, it was all to protect his daughter, all to be immortal so he could keep his daughter safe and everything, from not being to not make her pretty much grow up. I mean, sure, I can understand his reasonings, but you can't stop a person from growing up. Eventually, physically, they're going to grow up, and at the same time, mentally, they'll need to grow up here as well, which is what Dorothy actually showed us here at the end of the episode, which I'll go more dive into here soon. I'm just really giving my overall thoughts on the entire season, along with this episode here, because one thing about this season is that it was about not Chief trying to make amends for what he did in to the Doom Patrol, but also it was these Doom Patrol guys trying to get amendments for themselves. More in the case like Cliff and Larry were trying to make amends with their actual families that they lost, or supposedly lost. Like Larry, it didn't work out with his family so well. One of them died, and the other one hates his guts and was trying to turn him over to the a Bureau of Normalcy. And then you got Cliff here, who had this entire season had it out for the Chief, which you can't blame him, but at the same time, it shows you again that Cliff's got some major issues, but we learned that that's kind of a family running thing from not just him, but his own father, and his daughter kind of has some of that aspects, but like Cliff said, he believes his daughter can break that curse, and we would like to all believe that too. We really can't say for certain until we see her again, but still, I would like to hold out hope for that. And yeah, with Cliff, he had a little different angle in the fact that he got a chance to finally make things right because he was invited to a wedding, but of course, that thing kind of got spoiled due to the whole superhero thing, because that's what superheroes do. And while Rita, she was just trying to get back to the acting, and Cyborg, he had a love story that went crashing down. And for And for Jane, well, she had her issues going on in the underground until finally we learned about who Miranda really is. And basically, this all come colliding for us with this old candle maker who was pretty much the big threat of the season next to the chief, which was shown to us right here in this season finale. But now that I've said all that, I'm going to go ahead and get more into breakdown territories here. So first off, guys, with Cliff finally looking like he might be in good grace with his daughter and going to a wedding, yeah, he was about to actually choose going to the wedding over saving Dorothy and the chief, especially when one of Dorothy's imaginary friends, the spider, came and warned them and told them to come help. Then yeah, that goes back to Cliff and his self-interest. Although in this case, can you really say you blame him on that one? And it took some convincing, because they're not exactly superheroes, but at the same time, life's just, it's crazy, mind you, and you just sometimes don't know what to do with it. So I'm sorry for you on that one, Cliff. I really am. But at the same time, I gotta agree with them that if you want to be able to be at your daughter's wedding or be there for when your grandchild's born, you might want to stop this. Although we found out some interesting things as they went there. Oh my God, it was definitely not something I was expecting. But then again, when it came to Doom Patrol, we have to remember, we can't know what to expect out of these guys. This show is so random, there was no telling what's what. Because think about it, throughout this season, we've had sex busters, I could just go into a million thoughts on everything about it, but love it. But that's what the love of Doom Patrol is. Randomness, weirdness, things that you don't really expect to see, or for that matter, things that could end the world. It's nuts, I tell you. I was just like, oh my God, my head's just gonna blow up with all this. I can't stand it. Not in a bad way, mind you. It was just more like you're hurting my brain here. I'll never know what you're gonna do, and I just can't help but want to tune in for the next episode. Oh my God, because here's the thing. That candle maker, I don't know its comic book origins, and I'll be sure to make sure to look up on that. But from what I've been gathering here, now we learned that it was like something made by the tribes or something, and after what we saw at the end of the episode, it's like it's a tradition or something. But from what we are seeing with this candle maker is that, sure, we knew Dorothy had the powers of imaginary friends and stuff like that, but it was in the also aspect that this candle maker looks like one of her dark imaginary friends, but as the time went on in this episode, and with all the imaginary friends that were showing up, not just from Dorothy, but for each member of the Doom Patrol that helped them come to the conclusions of some of the things they have been dealing with this season, is that like Candlemaker's able to get into the imaginations of not just Dorothy, but the Doom Patrol as well. Because here's what we had here. The Doom Patrol shows up. Cyborg, he remembers this imaginary friend called Dr. Cowboy, who has the appearance of his father. Rita had a cardboard cutout, or not a cardboard, a paper cutout of multiple different things, and named it what was that? Oh yeah, Mademoiselle Roxy. Mademoiselle Roxy. While Cliff had Jesus. And by the way, that one right there, that one was something else. I did not see that one coming in. When I saw that, I was just like, okay, this one will be interesting. But either way, each of those imaginaries were talking to them about what they went through this season. Yeah, Dr. Cowboy telling Cyborg about his issues with Ronnie and what she's done and how he's conflicted and everything. And then you had Rita talking about like how she tried to get into the acting and she makes the moves that her mother made, such as how she bribed this producer to get her daughter that role and everything else. And then finally, we got Cliff here, who had Jesus. But and not for mention Larry, unfortunately, never had imaginary friends. And I gotta agree with Cliff when he said it. That is just sad, because that is very sad indeed. As for Cliff, his with Jesus was definitely an interesting sight right there. Now, I'm not Christian. I'm not like religious. I believe in God. I'm just not religious. But still, to see how this one was given to us was definitely a life lesson for some people out there. If some of y'all are religious or y'all believe in God like me but not religious, I guess you could kind of look at it in some sort of angles or of way or everything. But I did like how when Cliff was younger and 6, he was trying to find a better way. But yeah, leads into also with that thing about kids young and their wanting their families to be together and everything. Even though no deep down they probably still know about the truth about them. That's kind of a crazy thing, and I really do sometimes not like how that vulnerability is used against them. But what can we all do? We all try to do our best with what we can get here. It's not that simple out there. But even still, though, what was the crazy thing is, as I told y'all, Candlemaker was the one behind all these imaginary friends. Because in the end, when they all seem to look like they're going to be even better than what they were, kind of like they were near the season finale of season 1, until they got that horrible truth from the chief, they are all ended up as candle makers, or better yet, wax figurines is the best way to put it. Yeah, they're wax figurines. Cliff, though, gets it worse. He's been destroyed. He's blown to pieces, and he's everywhere as a wax figurine. But I think the craziest one of all had to come from Miranda, who we learn about her history when she became the primary. She had fallen in love with some dude. All looks good in the world, and then they have this crazy party that's just not right for Miranda here. And this is where we actually find out what's going on here in the present time with Miranda. It turns out this Miranda isn't Miranda, and the Miranda we knew actually did fall in the well, and that the Miranda that came out of it wasn't Miranda at all. It was actually, well, I can't really say it is her father, but with the way he went to Kay Olivia after Kay Olivia realized Miranda isn't Miranda, the way he like went to her with his hand and curled it, he's like, sweet baby girl. So is this like a form of her father or something? I don't know. And the sad part is, that's where it ends with her. Whereas Jane, of course, she found out too that Miranda is dead as well. Because while she was in that well, she was looking into her memories of everything that happened before Jane became that primary. So what could that mean going forward? Will Jane save the day? I hope so, because what it looks like, it doesn't look like there's anyone to save. But, however, this is where I think Dorothy might make it. This is how I talked about, guys. Niles, for all his time, all his worth of trying to stop Dorothy from growing up, maybe starting to realize that maybe that was a mistake. Because at the end, we get Dorothy sure, she was still acting like that scary, small little girl, but when finally her mother came, it's like a whole new demeanor about her changed. You could just look at it. You could see that there's a whole different demeanor about her. She sees that we can't continue to run away from who we are, or who we're destined to be, or destined to face. More like, or better yet, we all choose our own destinies. But one of the things we can't deny is that when something's in the way of us trying to make our own destinies, maybe we should fight this thing instead of keep running away from it. And that's what Dorothy came to realize. And I loved how she got that imaginary weapon of hers ready to finally fight Candlemaker. But I'm afraid that's where it all ended. And this can go back into what I was saying earlier. That pandemic thing has caused things to sort of mess up with the production behind the scenes, that we couldn't get the full off season of season 2, and it looks like what happened with Teen Titans season 1 will be with Teen Titans season 2. Doom Patrol season 3 will open up with what was supposed to be the season finale of season 2, then move into season 3. And well, for this one, there's nothing we could do about it. Once again, it's because of the whole current world situation, and that does suck. But if anything, I guess at least let's just be happy we were able to get season 2. There hasn't been an announcement of season 3, but we can't lose doubt, guys. We gotta believe there is a season 3 coming, because there's no way we can just end it like that. And for that matter, who will it be on? Will it still be on HBO Max and DC Universe, or will it be something else? we'll just have to wait and see. But either way, guys, it's a mixed bag of season finale, since this wasn't an actual season finale. Even if I understand, I can't give it a good say I enjoyed this episode fully. I liked it for what it was, but in the long term of the Doom Patrol season, I can't say it was that good of a finale. But it was an intense way to start. But I'm going to go ahead, guys. Leave it all at that. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you enjoy my videos, all you got to do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMixer signing out. Bye!